Okay, first things first. Spoiler alert. It may surprise some of you, but there are people going into this who still want to be surprised by King of the Monsters. So I'm just throwing some courtesy out there by basically saying that in this video I'm going to be covering the recently revealed designs for Godzilla, Mothra, Rodin and King Ghidorah that were shown off at Tokyo Comic Con. So yeah, basically just doing this out of respect, and those who don't want to be spoiled may want to turn around and run away now. Secondly, I just want to put up a quick disclaimer saying that the following viewpoints are of my opinion and my opinion alone. They are not fact and should not be treated as such. So if you don't agree or don't like what I'm about to say after the video's done, then that's a whole load of tough cheese just for you, my friend. And now we can get down to the main event. The designs. This is Super Toe Remix here, coming at you with another heap of trend trash following suit of my trailer reaction a while back. And this time I'm going to be going over what my opinions are on the recently revealed designs of Godzilla, Mothra, Rodin and King Ghidorah that were shown off in monster arts form at the Tokyo Comic Con this past weekend. And overall, I like what we've been given. They are pretty close to the mark, I should say. But yeah, fair warning, I'm not reading a script, so there will probably be a few vocal hiccups and there might be times I might unintentionally repeat myself, so please do bear with me on that front. Anyway, I do like, for the most part, what we've been given, but now that I've been given a few days, see what I mean? God damn it. Now that I've been given a few days to digest and take in what we've been given, I can now safely say that I do have a few things to point out, is the best way I can put it. And let's start off with the man himself, the most controversial part of this whole video, Godzilla. Now, seeing as I was asleep when Tokyo Comic Con went down because UK time zones suck ass, I'm not so sure what was shown off first, the statue or the monster arts. Yeah, I did not see the entire event, so I can't really say what order went in which. Anyway, we were given a good look at all of them, especially Godzilla. And on one hand, I can say, as its own design, it looks great. I can see what Mike and Co are going for, and it looks good for the most part. I am curious to see how it's going to look on screen. But on the other hand, me personally, I'm not 100% sold on this new version of G14. And the best way I can describe it is this. After all the criticism that was thrown at the design and the film, I look at this and I see the more traditional features like the spines, the slightly shorter tail, as well as the new claws. We'll get to those in a minute. And all I'm getting from this is it's less of an improvement and more of an apology. To make sense of what I am saying, this is how I'm going to try and put it. The G14 design is one of my absolute favourites in the entire series because it's an adaptation done right. Gareth and Co took the iconic silhouette and character aesthetics of Godzilla and basically put their own spin on it without compromising too much. And what we got was a year's worth of hard work, and what has still to this day resulted in the best Americanized Godzilla we have ever gotten. So I look at what they've done here, and it honestly looks like to me they took what Gareth Edwards had in mind and tried making it a bit more appealing to hardcore fans, especially the feet. One big grievance point of the original G14 design was how the feet looked. People really didn't like the whole elephant stick he had going for it. Something I personally didn't mind, but okay, preferences are preferences. And I look at these new feet, and all I can see is they're basically the same feet as G14's, but all they've done is they've given him GMK toes. So I don't really see what the point of hype is about when it comes to the new supposed feet. And I'm sorry, but I'm not 100% on the more quote-unquote traditional looking spines. I do think they're slightly out of place for the whole G14 aesthetic. I mean, it's great that Mike's going for the whole 54 look, which is a nice nod, don't get me wrong, but I just think for this Godzilla they do seem a little out of place. It's like if they took Godzilla 2000 Millennium, but instead of those iconic edgy spines, they got rid of those and basically slapped on The Heisei Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Destroyer, like the really over-exaggerated bio-Goji spines. Imagine if those were swapped around, and this is kind of what I'm getting at with this new legendary Godzilla look. So on one hand, it's nice that they're trying to go more traditional, but on the other hand, me personally, it comes down to how far do they really want to take it before it kind of alienates what made G14 such a great and unique design in the first place. It kind of takes away what made G14 stand out from the rest. If you get my gist, I'm not hating on the design before anyone gets their knickers in a twist. I'm not hating on the design. I'm not saying it's a bad design. I just need to see more of it first. I need to see it beyond the Monsterverse, because let's face it, this is Monsterverse we're talking about, and as nice as the prototype looks, we all know their track record when it comes to the final product. So all I'm saying is just keep your expectations in check. Alright? To wrap up my thoughts on the King of the Monsters design for Godzilla, I can see what Mike and co are going for. As its own thing, it looks really nice, but as a continuation of the G14 design, and smacking on more traditional features, it just comes across as Legendary basically saying, we're sorry for not pleasing you hardcore G fans, we're going to try and make it up to you by basically amending this, and this, and GMK toes! Next up is my viewpoint on arguably the most controversial redesign of the whole bunch, and we're going to be honest with you, I'm not surprised she turned out this way. It's Mothra. Now I'm going to say this. What they're going for, what they seem to be going for, what Mike is doing here with the whole bee wasp look, I'm still trying to get my head around how they were able to pull that off better and do it better than that perfect design they call the GMK Mothra. Just saying. So what we got here with the smaller head, the very streamlined antenna, and what I'd call praying mantis legs, I honestly dig it. This is probably one of the most formidable looking Mothras we've ever gotten, and for the whole Monsterverse aesthetic, it actually fits really well. One thing I am quite liking is what they've done with the eye pattern on her wings is actually a defense mechanism against Godzilla, which is basically what's been revealed is that the eye patterns on the tips of Mothra's wings are meant to replicate Godzilla's eyes. It's meant to be a deterrent, which I think is a really cool idea. Now, when it comes to the body shape, it's weird, I can give you that, but again, I can get behind this Mothra. It does look like they have put a ton of thought into how far they can try and keep the overall silhouette of the original while doing their own thing. And for the most part, good job. I can safely say that this is a Mothra. It may not be the Mothra everyone wanted, but I can say in safety that we could have gotten so much worse. Just look at the entire... Next up is honestly the one I was fearing the most. It is the King of Terror himself, Ghidorah. Ghidorah. And I am really happy with what we've been given, because when Ghidorah was announced back a couple of years ago, and the initial description given off that teaser, if it ever existed, but the initial thing we got was basically a three-headed Smaug. And at first I was kind of okay with that, but as time's gone on and knowing how Hollywood behaves and how scared it is, I was honestly dreading the idea of this wyvern-looking King Ghidorah just marching around on, well, not four legs, but four limbs. Basically, the wings would be like extra. You get my point. And no, thank you. So, not gonna lie, when they announced that they're gonna reveal the designs the weekend just gone, and King Ghidorah being one of them, I had a lump in my throat. I had no idea what to expect. How good was it gonna look? And honestly, I am so relieved. Obviously, we weren't going to get anything super close to the mark, because again, this is Hollywood, but what Mike and co have done, I cannot be any happier with. It's still kind of wyvern-esque, but it's not taken to the extreme. So what we got here is that we still got the three heads. We got the really cool looking gargoyle / demon wings, very chaotic in design. The membranes are nice and scaly, if that's what I'm even calling them, right? I mean, in an ideal world, I would like the legs to be a bit thicker, but considering from what it looks like this King Ghidorah is going to be airborne most of the time, I'm okay with that. And me being a tail freak, I would like the tail to be a bit longer, but at the end of the day, what we've been presented with here, I am so happy with, I am so relieved with. I can safely say we got a pretty decent American representation of King Ghidorah. It is a King Ghidorah that can be called Kingu Ghidorah. The thing that fascinates me the most is the head designs. To me, it looks like a mix between the Soa design, a few sprinkles of Kaiser Ghidorah here and there, and that one Elder Dragon from Monster Hunter whose name I can never pronounce. It's the metallic one that often appears in snowy areas, Kashandora. It kind of reminds me of Kashandora a little bit. Now, the funny thing is, and I laugh now that I think back to this, in the end, there are a few areas that do kind of remind me of the Honey Bones model kit. God damn it! Pennsylvania, another people, the Rodin! Rodin is in the house, and I love what they have done with Rodin for King of the Monsters. I could go on about this all day, but I have to try and condense it as much as possible. Ooh, the one I've been wanting to see the most, the one I've been dying to see get finalised, is Rodin. And oh boy, are we in for a treat with this one. I think it came out at some point that Rodin was Mike's favourite monster, so it makes sense as to how Rodin honestly got the best treatment of the four. And it really shows. One little new feature for this Rodin I absolutely love is if you pay close attention to the top half of the wings, if you look at them from a certain angle, they look like flowing magma in texture, and that's so awesome. The head is honestly the most iconic part of Rodin, minus the spiked chest and legs and the archaeotic tail. And this is like the best of all worlds. It's like a combination of the Soa Rodin, Fire Rodin to the cringe of some, and even Final Wars Rodin seems to be thrown in there, to make this really awesome combination that we've been given with the legendary Rodin. This thing looks absolutely fierce. It looks close enough to the source material, but it's its own thing at the same time, and I can now understand why it was said that in King of the Monsters, Rodin's going to be even stronger than Godzilla. Yeah, this Rodin's going to be flying over the place, kicking ass and taking names. Damn! Again, back to the Archaeotic's tail. That was a really interesting design point of. Was it? It was. I think it was only. I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think back. I know that was a big thing on the very first original Rodin from '56. Was it? Did it carry over to the '60s Rodins? I need to watch the movies again, but I do know that was. That the whole Archaeotic's tail feather scoots design point was another iconic part of Rodin, and I'm so glad they were able to keep it here, because again, Hollywood wanting to play it safe and thinking of the casual audiences, I honestly thought they'll make Rodin some really generic, spiky pterosaur, but no, we have. I hate to use the word realistic. We have a really fateful but Hollywood twist on Rodin. Rodin being the one I've been wanting to see the most, and now we finally got to see the King of the Monsters design in full. I'm a happy camper. It is honestly my favourite of the four, and I cannot wait to see this thing in action. In fact, out of all the monster arts that have been revealed of these four, Rodin's gonna be king of that list. Rodin is at the top of my list to see if they actually bring out this figure, which I'm hoping they will, because they have said that Godzilla and King Ghidorah will be put up for pre-order in January. But yeah, if I were to risk it and pre-order these monster arts, I say it very loosely, Rodin will obviously be the first one. I would be inclined to get King Ghidorah because of how expensive it might be, and just because it would be an awesome display piece. As for Mothra, maybe. Again, I really do dig this Mothra design, but in monster arts form, I'm not sure. And then you know my stance for the King of the Monsters Godzilla. Now, before I wrap this video up, just want to mention that at Tokyo Comic Con they previewed a little segment of the Godzilla theme that will be featuring in King of the Monsters. And I must say, Bear, if you ever stumble across this video and endure my endless rambling up to this point, I have one request, please. Please, in your style, do get Rodin. After hearing your awesome Godzilla theme, I would kill to hear what you would do with Get Rodin. That is one of my favourite Akira Akifube themes, and I would be so happy if it features in King of the Monsters, because apparently it has been said that Godzilla's theme is not going to be the only one in there. It was revealed Mothra's theme is going to be in there, so it's going to be interesting to hear if they include the vocals or not. But we'll see in May of next year. Move over, Simba! Rodin is king of the roost when it comes to realistic redesigns that actually look good. And that pretty much sums up my thoughts and opinions on the King of the Monsters redesigns. I am very happy overall with what we have been given. I was expecting something lesser, but happy that we got something a bit more. And if anything, it shows Mike's passion for these characters. We wouldn't have gone anything this close if anybody else took the helm. Yes, that's even including Gareth Edwards, maybe. And yeah, I say bring on May of 2019, because it's going to be absolutely spectacular. I cannot wait, especially to see Rodin. I need me more of that Rodin! One interesting thing to note is that leaked maquette that was revealed, was it at the end of last year? Yeah, I think it was the end of last year. There was that leaked Rodin maquette, and this actually doesn't look that far off the mark, which is minus the feathers, of course. If you go and find that maquette, if it's still around, you'll notice the Rodin wings on that maquette have skevers. But anyway, I'm rambling on way too much. The video should end now. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed what you've heard today, or not. Again, my opinion and my opinion only. I'm not exactly spewing fact here. And despite the fact I would classify this as trend trash, this actually was quite fun to do. And depending if we do get that upcoming trailer soon, maybe you might see a second trailer reaction? Maybe? We'll see. And on that one, thanks again. I will be seeing you guys for the premiere of the mystery mashup on Midnight Friday. That's Midnight Friday UK time. There's the vocal garble again. And take care. I will see you guys on the flip side, and stay gold. Bye bye.